This lesson is intended as a brief introduction to the subject of open tunings. The standard EADGBE tuning has evolved over several centuries as being the best way to enable us to play all the common chord types: major, minor, dominant, diminished and augmented and their various derivatives, as well as all the commonly used scale patterns on the guitar. As soon as we move into open tunings, we are in effect favouring one chord type, and this has the effect of restricting our options as far as harmonic richness goes. But at the same time, this opens up the possibility of new combinations of sound within these harmonic restrictions. And this leads to a remarkable new range of playing styles. To explore this, let's start with the practical matter of how to change a guitar from standard tuning into open tuning. If you're new to this, I suggest picking the chord of G major. G major has the notes G, B and D in it. So 3 of our strings are already tuned to the chord. But no matter what chord you choose, a good procedure is simply to start from the bottom string and for each string on the guitar check to see if the note it's tuned to is already part of the chord that we've selected. So the E string clearly isn't in the chord of G, so we'll need to tune it down until it is. Notice I said tune it down, not up. As a rule, tuning down will be kinder to your guitar and reduce the risk of breaking strings when you're messing around with alternative tunings generally. So the nearest G chord note to E is the note D. To tune this 6th string to D, the best approach is to use the open 4th string as a reference point. So I play that open 4th string, take this bottom string down, you can hear it sort of chiming in there. Okay, moving on to the next highest string. At the moment this is A, so that too needs moving down to fit into the notes from the G chord. In this case, the obvious choice is to take it down to the note G. And again, using an open string as a reference is a good way to go. In this case, we'll use the 3rd string, the G. We know that the next string can be left as it is, as it's already tuned to D, which is one of the notes in the G chord. So we move on. So next we have the G string and the B string, both of which are already part of the chord of G, so we can leave them well alone. So it just remains to tune the top E string down to D, which we can now do by comparing that to the open 4th and 6th strings. A quick double check of what we've just done. And then play all 6 strings open, and we should hear a nice G major chord. Because this is a very easy open tuning to change to, it's very popular. And it's perhaps most easily associated with Rolling Stones classics like Honky Tonk Women. And slide guitar blues classics like Little Red Rooster. Okay, let's run through another popular open tuning. We'll apply the procedure that we just outlined to the C chord this time. Now I want you to note that I've just returned my guitar to standard tuning, so we're back in EADGBE. And for C, the three chord notes for C are C, E and G. So starting with our sixth string, that's already tuned to E, we can leave it as it is. The A string, we can take that down to G, and in this case let's do that just by fretting the sixth string at the 3rd fret and comparing the open 5th string to that. Okay, our next string at the moment is D. So logical, I think, to take that down to C, taking it down a tone. Now C used to be this note here, but of course we've lowered this 2 frets, so our C is now here, 5th string on the 5th fret on the 5th string. Okay. Moving on, we next have a G, which of course is part of the chord of C, so we can leave that as it is. And so we arrive at the 2nd string, which of course at the moment is still tuned to B. Now, according to our rule that it's better to lower the pitch of a note than to raise it, to be kinder to our guitar, we would have to take this 2nd string all the way down from B to G. So tuning it to that open G string, but I'm going to suggest you avoid doing this because we now have 3 G notes and still only 1 C note. So the chord's getting a bit unbalanced. Also, because we've taken this 2nd string down so far, it's beginning to sound a bit rattly compared to the others. So on this occasion, I advise breaking the rule and instead raising the 2nd string from B to C. This is a fairly safe adjustment to make because it's only raising the string by a semitone. So here I'm going to use the C at fret 5 on the G string as my reference. So we now have the notes E, G, C, G, C and E. And that gives us a lovely, nice, balanced C chord with 2 of each of its notes represented. It's fascinating to me how different guitar players bring out different sounds from each of these different tunings. For me, just as the open G tuning lends itself to old blues tunes, the C tuning has a more folk leaning. I'll play out of this lesson now with a demonstration in open C tuning based loosely on some ideas that I've stolen shamelessly from 2 of my early influences, Pink Floyd and the peerless Rory Gallagher. Now, if you're of the same vintage as me, see if you can spot these references.